They thought she was finished. They watched her leave with a single suitcase and whispered behind her back, "She won't survive this." But destiny has a strange sense of humor, because 2 years later, under golden chandeliers and flashing cameras, they would stand frozen in fear, as the woman they destroyed walked in wearing elegance, power, and holding the arm of a white American billionaire. This is not just a story of betrayal. It is a story of patience, of silent transformation, of revenge served without a single word. Before the continues, tell us where you're watching from in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe for more heart stories, stories that heal, shock, and inspire. Amara Okoye learned early that love could be unequal. Growing up in a modest home in Lagos, she and her younger sister, Damilola, were opposites. Amara was calm, thoughtful, responsible, the kind of girl who sacrificed quietly. Damilola was fire, bold, loud, addictive. Relatives adored Dami. Teachers excused her mistakes. Neighbors praised her beauty. Amara was the good one, the one expected to understand, to forgive, to endure. No one warned her that endurance, when taken too far, becomes permission. Colonel Adeyemi entered Amara's life when she least expected it. They met during a corporate training program. Two young professionals fighting for relevance. Colonel was charming but insecure, ambitious but unstable. Amara became his anchor. She helped him rewrite proposals, encouraged him after rejections, paid for his certification exams. She loved him not for who he was, but for who she believed he could become. When he proposed with trembling hands, she said yes without hesitation. She believed loyalty would protect her. She was wrong. Damilola noticed Colonel immediately. Too immediately. She complimented him excessively, asked personal questions, compared him to other boring men. Amara laughed it off. She's just being friendly. But friendliness doesn't linger too long. It doesn't text late at night. It doesn't compete. Colonel began to change. New clothes, new confidence, new distance. Amara blamed work pressure. Love blind. Best when betrayal is close. It was raining heavily the night Amara returned home early. She had planned a surprise dinner. The apartment door was unlocked. She heard laughter. Her sister's laughter. Her feet moved before her mind could stop them. Bedroom door. Open. Colonel, her fiancé, and Damilola, together. In her bed. Time froze. Colonel jumped up. Dami screamed. But some screams never erase silence. Amara didn't cry. She simply turned and walked away. Because some betrayals kill tears first. The aftermath was worse than the act. Damilola cried to their parents. Played the victim. Colonel claimed Amara was emotionally distant. That Dami understood him better. Their parents sided with Damilola. Men make mistakes. Family is family. Move on. 3 months later, Damilola married Colonel. In the same church, using Amara's wedding planner. That day, something inside Amara died. Amara vanished. She quit her job, left Lagos, changed her number. Depression swallowed her whole. For months, she questioned her worth. Was she too boring? Too quiet? Too replaceable? She didn't know that life was clearing space for a man who would never see her as disposable. One night, scrolling aimlessly, Amara saw an article. Ethan Walker, white American tech billionaire, expands African talent program. Self-made, private, feared in boardrooms. She applied without hope. Weeks later, she received an email. Congratulations. You have been selected. She didn't know it yet, but her old life had officially ended. The first thing Amara noticed about Ethan Walker was not his wealth. It was his silence. He sat across from her in a glass-walled boardroom in Lagos. Tailored navy suit, silver cufflinks, calm blue eyes that missed nothing. White. American. Powerful in a way that did not beg for attention. He studied her resume slowly. You disappeared for almost a year. he said finally, his voice low, controlled. Most people don't come back from that. Amara swallowed. I didn't disappear, she replied softly. I regrouped. Something flickered in Ethan's eyes.
Int. Arist.
Ethan asked questions no one had ever asked her. Not about her trauma, but about her mind. How she solved problems. Why she chose strategy over emotion. How she survived betrayal without becoming bitter. You don't talk like a victim, he said. I don't plan to stay one, Amara replied. That moment sealed it. Ethan Walker didn't offer pity. He offered opportunity, and that was far more dangerous. Under Ethan's mentorship, Amara evolved. She worked long hours, learned global finance, negotiated contracts worth millions. Ethan pushed her relentlessly, but he respected her limits. He never touched her, never crossed boundaries, never asked questions about Connell or her sister. He treated her as an equal. Slowly, something unfamiliar grew between them. Trust. While Amara rebuilt quietly, Damilola's marriage began to crack. Connell struggled. Without Amara's support, his career stalled. Bills piled up. Arguments increased. Damilola, who married for validation, realized love did not pay rent. She began comparing her life to others, especially Amara. One evening, scrolling through LinkedIn, Damilola froze. Amara Okoye.
Featured.
Standing beside Ethan Walker. The caption read, Strategic Director, Walker Global Ventures Africa. Her heart skipped. Connell laughed nervously. She probably just got lucky, he said. But insecurity had already entered the room. Ethan invited Amara to New York. Her first time abroad. Skyscrapers. Private meetings. Power lunches. One evening, after a late negotiation, they stood overlooking the city. You're different from everyone I've worked with, Ethan said. How? She asked. You don't chase power, he replied. You survive it. For the first time in years, Amara felt seen. On their final night in New York, Ethan spoke carefully. I don't mix business and emotion, he said. But I'd regret not being honest. Amara waited. I respect you, he continued. And I'm drawn to you. Silence followed. Amara exhaled slowly. I won't be anyone's experiment, she said. Ethan, no. Deaded. Then be my choice. Their relationship grew quietly. No social media. No announcements. Just shared values. Shared pain. Shared ambition. Ethan never rushed her. When he proposed months later, there was no grand crowd. Just sincerity. I don't want to save you, he said. I want to walk with you. Amara said yes. 2 years after her disappearance, an invitation arrived. Adeyemi Corporate Anniversary Gala.
Connell's company.
High profile.
Elite.
And sponsored by Walker Global Ventures. Ethan smiled when Amara read it. Ready? He asked. Amara's lips curved slightly. They're not. Amara did not dream of a loud wedding. After everything she had lost, she wanted peace, not performance. So when Ethan suggested something simple, she felt relief instead of disappointment. They married in a private estate in Napa Valley. No press. No celebrities. No noise. Just a few close friends, a quiet officiant, and vows spoken with intention. Ethan looked at her like a man who had searched his whole life. I don't promise perfection, he said. But I promise loyalty, even when it's hard. Amara's voice trembled when she replied, I promise never to disappear from myself again. She became Mrs. Amara Walker, without the world K. Nowing. Marriage did not slow her down. It sharpened her. As Ethan's wife, Amara gained access to rooms where decisions reshaped economies. But Ethan never introduced her as my wife. He introduced her as our strategic director. She earned her place. Executives respected her clarity. Investors trusted her instincts. And for the first time in her life, Amara felt powerful, not loud power, but grounded power. The kind that doesn't need validation. Back in Lagos, Damilola was unraveling. Her marriage had become transactional. Connell barely spoke to her unless it involved money. The man she stole for status had nothing left to offer. And then, she saw the photos. Not wedding photos. Conference photos. Amara, elegant, composed, standing beside Ethan Walker at a global summit. The caption read, Walker Global Ventures, Africa Expansion led by Amara Walker. Damalola stared at the surname. Walker. Her
Chest tightened.
Connell felt it too. The regret.
The fear.
He watched Amara's rise from afar. Her confidence. Her composure. The woman he discarded had become untouchable. One night, after an argument, he said something he would regret forever. Amara would have handled this better. Damalola slapped him. But the damage was done. Connell swallowed his pride. He sent an email. Not to Amara. To Walker Global Ventures Africa. He requested funding. He didn't know who reviewed applications. He didn't know who sat on the board. When Amara saw his name,
She paused.
Ethan watched her quietly.
You don't have to, he said.
Amara closed the file calmly. I know, and approved the rejection herself. The Adeyemi Corporate Anniversary Gala was the biggest event of the year.
Press.
Investors. Politicians. Damalola obsessed over her dress. She wanted to look powerful, untouchable, but insecurity whispered louder. What if she comes? She asked Connell one night. He froze. Amara had not RSVP'd.
Yet.
On the night of the gala, Amara stood before the mirror. She wore a deep emerald gown, tailored, elegant, commanding. Ethan adjusted his cufflinks. You ready to end ghosts? He asked. Amara smiled faintly. I'm ready to meet them. They walked out hand in hand. The past waited inside. The Adeyemi Corporate Anniversary Gala was everything Damalola had dreamed of. Crystal chandeliers. Soft gold lighting. Waiters gliding across marble floors with champagne. Power gathered in whispers. Damalola stood tall in a silver gown, smiling for cameras. This was her world now. Or so she thought. Connell couldn't relax. Every laugh felt forced. Every handshake felt hollow. His eyes scanned the room unconsciously. He didn't know what he was looking for. He just felt exposed. Like a secret was approach.
I did.
The host tapped the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, he announced. Please welcome our major sponsor and special guest of honor. The room quieted. CEO of Walker Global Ventures. A pause. Mr. Ethan Walker. Applause erupted. Damalola clapped eagerly. Until she saw him.
Tall. White.
Commanding. Then, she saw the woman beside him. Her smile froze. Her breath caught. Amara stepped forward. Elegant. Unshaken. Unbothered. The room shifted. Whispers rippled. Who is she? She looks important. That's Ethan Walker's wife.
Wife.
The word sliced through Damalola's chest. Connell staggered. That's, he whispered. Amara didn't look at them. Not yet. Damalola's hands trembled. Her mind raced. Impossible. Amara couldn't be here. Not like this. Not with him. Ethan leaned close to Amara. Do you want to leave? He asked. She shook her head calmly.
No, she said.
I want them to see. The host smiled. And standing beside him, Strategic Director of Walker Global Ventures Africa. He paused. Mrs. Amara Walker. The room erupted. Damalola's champagne glass slipped from her hand, shattering on the marble floor. Connell's face drained of color. Mrs. Walker, the sister they destroyed, was now untouchable. Amara finally looked at them. Just once. No anger. No satisfaction. Just calm. The kind of calm that says, I survived you. Damalola tried to smile. It failed.
D.
Connell pushed through the crowd. Amara, he whispered desperately. She turned politely. Yes. He swallowed hard. I didn't know. She tilted her head. You never ask. Ethan stepped closer. Is there a problem? He asked calmly. Connell stepped back. Defeated. Damalola approached shakily. Sister, she said, forcing a smile. You look good. Amara nodded. So do you, she replied gently. That hurt more than rage. Because kindness, when undeserved, is cruelty. The room buzzed. Not with music. With curiosity. People sensed tension. They didn't know the history, but they could feel it. The way Cunnel stood stiff. The way Damalola kept adjusting her dress. The way Amara stood calm beside Ethan Walker, as if she had always belonged there. Power recognizes power. And the room had chosen its us.
Eyed.
Later that night, a private investor's lounge filled with executives.
Cunnel was invited.
So was Damalola. So was Amara. Ethan took his seat at the head of the table. Before we proceed, Ethan said evenly, I'd like to introduce the woman who led our African expansion strategy. He turned toward Amara. My wife. Silence followed. Cunnel's breath caught. Damalola's nails dug into her palm. Amara nodded politely. No speech. No bragging. Her presence was enough. An investor leaned forward. Cunnel Adeyemi, he said, scanning a file. You applied for funding recently. Cunnel straightened. Yes, sir. The investor frowned. It was rejected. Cunnel nodded stiffly. I'd like to understand why, the investor continued. Ethan looked at Amara. She spoke calmly. The proposal lacked structure, accountability, and relied heavily on emotional projections. She met Cunnel's eyes. The same weaknesses. That ended our engagement. The room W. And still, Damalola snapped. You planned this, she hissed. You came here to embarrass us. Amara looked genuinely surprised. I came here because my husband was invited, she said softly. You embarrassed yourselves.
Gasps.
Damalola stood abruptly. You stole my life, she screamed. Amara rose slowly. No, she replied. You stole mine. Amara turned to the room. I won't dramatize the past, she said calmly. But I lost everything once. My fiancé, my family support, my home. She glanced at Damalola. I didn't take revenge, she continued. I took responsibility. Her voice never shook. I rebuilt in silence. No one spoke, because truth, when spoken without is terrifying. Cunnel stood. Amara, he pleaded, I made a mistake. She studied him. You made a choice, she corrected, and you stood by it. She turned away. That was the final rejection. The fallout was immediate. Investors withdrew. Whispers became conclusions. Damalola felt eyes everywhere. The queen she thought she was never existed. Power had moved on. Ethan placed a hand on Amara's back. You okay? He asked quietly. She nodded. I didn't need revenge, she said. I needed closure. They walked out together. Heads turned. Not because of drama, but because of dignity. The city of Lagos slept peacefully that night. But not everyone found rest. Damalola sat on the edge of her bed, makeup still on, dress crumpled beside her. She replayed the gala again and again. The whispers, the stares, the way people suddenly avoided her. She had won once, but tonight, she had lost everything. Cunnel stared at his reflection in the mirror. For the first time, there was no one left to blame. No Amara to support him. No investors to rescue him. No excuses that sounded convincing. He remembered her patience, her belief, the way she had loved him quietly. And he realized something far too late. He didn't lose Amara because she was weak. He lost her because she became strong. The arguments became unbearable. Damalola accused Cunnel of jealousy. Cunnel accused Damalola of sabotage. They no longer fought about money. They fought about regret. One night, Cunnel finally said it. I should have never left her. The silence that followed was permanent. Within months, their marriage ended quietly. No celebration. No sympathy. Just tea paperwork. Thousands of miles away, Amara lived peacefully. She and Ethan split their time between New York and Lagos. Their home was calm. Their conversations honest. No yelling. No competition. Just partnership. Ethan never asked her to forget her past. He honored the woman who survived it. One afternoon, Amara received a letter. No return address. Inside was a single page. An apology. From Damalola. No excuses. No manipulation. Just regret. Amara read it once. Then folded it neatly. She didn't cry. She didn't smile.
She
Simply let it go. Months later, at a charity conference in Abuja, Amara ran into Kunal. He looked older. Smaller. "Congratulations," he said quietly. "You deserve everything." She nodded. "I hope you heal," she replied. Not forgiveness. Not bitterness. Just closure. They walked away in opposite directions. Forever. Amara never posted revenge photos. Never bragged online. Never told her story publicly. She didn't need to. Because success doesn't shout. It arrives quietly.
and stays.
Sometimes, the people who hurt you think they ended you. They don't know. They only activated you. Betrayal doesn't destroy everyone. Some people turn it into fuel. Now tell us, what are your thoughts about this story? Do you believe Amara handled the situation the right way? What would you have done differently? Write your thoughts in the comment section below. We read every single one. And if you enjoy deep, emotional stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heart stories. Stories of betrayal, healing, and quiet victory.